All right, we're recording for Computer Woes channel. I go by Zelvadrian on my Zelvadrian channel. The username Theta Q, but this is not it. This is Computer Woes, past, present, and future. And I have the old school commands of the 1990s, and I guess some of you watching this who would be younger, who probably weren't even born in the 1990s. zmodem, UUDECODE, and bin. And the GNU and Gopher and links to text, internet browser, and all that. So you have, said commands. And I have a little set of ones and zeros that I did here from the Commodore 64 emulator that I did in green and a black background, and I have a little frown that I kind of made here. Now we have this concept. The quote in red was said by a guy I knew that was screwing over the students at then USL in Lafayette, Louisiana, University of Southwestern Louisiana, but they wanted to change it because it counted as a regional university instead of a state university. Now it's UL at Lafayette. I said they could have said, I said this in a letter to the school paper of Vermilion. We could have said the University of the Southwest in Louisiana, because I like USL instead of UL at Lafayette. I think three initials sounds cooler, but they didn't go for it anyway. But UUDECODE is when you have something like this. You have the ASCII characters with the values translated in one way or another for transmission purposes. In the FTP commands, you have BIN, binary versus ASCII, when you're doing raw text or a file, like a picture or a word processing file or something like that, or whatever it is. And there's differences or whatever. You have to do it. Today it's just point and click, and you just download something and right click on it, and that's it. And that's all she wrote. Oh, it was so much nastier back then. And anyway, they had in the lab at USL, and I forget to read. Sometimes you had zmodem and stuff. Yeah, this is a 1990s porn capers. Okay, Theta Q, my username Theta Q for Computer Woes. It was a big deal. Sometimes you could dial in from your home. I forget which. I think you had to have at a point you had a hosted internet account from school, but it was text only or something like that, and later they upgraded or whatever. But I don't know. I forget all the micro details. But basically, it ended up being that you had to go to the lab to get your material, which is usually porn, on a floppy disk. You had the zmodem where you could download something to your hard drive and then put on floppy later when you're telnetting in or something like that. Telnet, like anybody knows what that is anymore. But some schmuck over there, I guess it's a power trip, I guess, he would go to the computer that had a floppy drive that was set for that, and he would destroy the system files. And it seemingly, as a story that I got in pieces, he would keep the files for himself on his floppy and remove them with the floppy, so only he could download stuff and put things on floppy. Why would anybody want to do that? Power trip, there being a butt munch and all that. So the school admins got sick and tired of, like, for the sixth time in a row, having to reset the computer. So they replaced it with this cruddy, raunchy computer that was like 10 times slower or something like that. And if you wanted a real crisp porn picture or something like that, it was mini floppies. Or I don't say mini, but enough to where you had to break it up with a utility program to make it fit on a floppy in pieces, and get together in your hard drive and assemble the pieces back together, and then take that assembled piece with the UUDECODE and UUEncode and put it together to a binary picture you could view, and you get your little raunchy porn pic. The guy I knew had said the quote in red about the guy finding his or mine, so he was pretty mad. It's just I mean, if that guy would have ever been found out, they would have burned him at the stake. But all these little punks do that, different little things. So here's a 1990s porn caper for some of the online stuff, way more jagged and primitive than we got now, but it's kind of funny. nerd subculture.